4:37 local time. Inside the Combat Information Center aboard USS Abraham Lincoln, the air feels denser than it should. Red light floods every surface, flattening faces into silhouettes. The digital clock above the tactical plot clicks forward, 1 second at a time. The carrier holds 20 knots on a northerly course, cutting through the Greenland Sea. Ice fragments drift in the wake. The hum of circulation fans blends with the low vibration of turbines. At sonar position 3, an operator leans closer to his screen, eyes narrowing as a faint, irregular trace slides across the lower band. The signal lasts less than a heartbeat. Then it's gone. He plays the buffer again. The trace returns, thin, vertical, a single spike just below the thermocline at 300 meters. It shouldn't be there. The operator's voice stays low. Possible contact, bearing 087. The supervisor nods without looking away from his log sheet. No alarm, no raised tone. The Arctic distortion layer is notorious. Sound bends here, splits and dies. Everyone knows false returns multiply when the water column shifts. The operator rewinds again. The anomaly is still present, steady where ice echoes should scatter. He tags it anyway as probable environmental interference. The report moves into the system with that label attached. Above, 0441 local, the flight deck is a brutal landscape of wind and metal. A pair of FA-18S roll toward catapult position, their exhausts turning the pre-dawn air into haze. Chains snap loose, yellow shirts signal. From the island, ice fog drifts across the deck edge. Beneath the noise, a single MH-60R Seahawk idles with blades folded, maintenance lights flickering green. Crew chiefs check tie-downs. Temperature reads -12 Celsius. The ocean beneath the hull shifts in rhythmic swells, masking small acoustic returns. No one on deck knows anything about a signal. They're running through launch prep for a routine ASW patrol. 4:45. In the CIC, the sonar display refreshes. A flat green field, then another flicker at the same bearing. Duration longer now. 2 full seconds. Range indeterminate. The operator increases gain by 3 decibels, filters out surface noise. The trace persists. Repeat bearing 087, depth holding 300. The watch officer glances over, calm. Tag it again, no classification. That's all. No tension, no declaration. Procedures depend on certainty. A single mislabel can trigger hours of useless tracking. The contact vanishes once more. The operator exhales slowly. He can feel vibration through the deck. The thump of aircraft launch above. 0450 local. The Seahawk's APU winds up, pitch rising through the hull. The operator hears it faintly through steel. The helicopter crew begins start sequence. Rotor blades unlock. Blades blur in the low Arctic light. On the display, another mark emerges. Same range window, slightly stronger amplitude. The operator lifts 2 fingers. The supervisor moves closer. Both stare at the line creeping across the graph. No chatter, no guesswork. Mark it. The entry time stamps automatically. A second sensor array confirms noise correlation. Still, the bearing remains unchanged. That immobility feels wrong. The officer notes it without comment. Above the flight deck, 4:55. The Seahawk lifts from steel, nose angled northeast. Rotor wash throws fine ice crystals across the deck. At 60 knots, the aircraft banks low over the sea, climbing through 100 feet, then 200. Sensors warm. The crew loads the first pattern into the computer. 6 passive buoys, 30-second intervals. Below, the carrier continues north, a slow-moving city pushing through fractured sea. The wind carries the roar of jet exhaust down to the waterline, scattering surface ice. In the CIC, the sonar operator tracks silence again. The contact faded as soon as the helicopter lifted. 4:59, another flicker. Same bearing. Range estimated 12,000 yards, depth still around 300. The operator's voice is quieter this time. Contact reappeared, stronger. The watch officer joins him. Both study the clean, narrow band. It doesn't look like ice breakup, it looks deliberate. The data moves through processing. Across the room, the second array confirms identical parameters. Cross-check matches within 1 degree. Maintain track, the officer orders. Nobody says the word submarine. The log updates automatically. Above, the Seahawk pushes outward at 100 knots, shadowing the carrier's path. The sea below it looks calm, almost motionless. 5:04 local. The helicopter releases the first sonobuoy. The splash barely registers. The crew waits for acoustic handshake, then deploys another. The CIC receives data seconds later. Temperature layers, background noise, no distinct source. Yet the carrier's passive array still holds a faint narrowband tone, unmoving. Operators tag it again. The watch officer requests a comparative analysis. The result is exact, consistent amplitude, no drift. Stationary, one technician asks. Negative, another replies, steady relative to us. They know what that means. It's matching movement. But no one verbalizes it. They stay procedural. The contact remains labeled unclassified return. 0509. The sonar supervisor notes the carrier's heading. 072. Speed 20 knots. The contact's relative position means that as the ship moves, the distance is closing without the target moving at all. Geometry compresses silently. In the plotting corner, a technician recalculates closest point of approach, down from 6 miles to 4. No alarm. The algorithm compensates automatically. Above, the Seahawk loops wide, pattern complete, deploying its 6th buoy. Data feeds stream clean. The sea's temperature inversion holds, bending sound back toward the surface. Down here, the picture looks stable. It isn't. The contact dips 5 meters, then stops. 0513. That small vertical movement triggers attention. The operator flags it. Depth correction, minimal. The watch officer studies the screen, expression unreadable. At this range, such clean correction means human input. Only an active crew can trim depth by increments that precise. Continue passive, he says. No active sonar, no announcement. The helicopter tightens its orbit, staying inside the buoy fan. The pilot maintains altitude at 300 feet. The Arctic horizon glows faint blue. Wind from the east increases to 25 knots. Sea spray begins freezing on the aircraft's fuselage. Inside the carrier, everyone keeps their voice level. 519 local. The contact holds exactly where predicted. Both ship and helicopter systems confirm it. The room's mood sharpens, not through sound, but stillness. Operators speak less, movements slower. On deck, the FA-18 recovery cycle begins, the thump of arresting cables echoing through the hull. Each impact registers faintly on sonar. The trace beneath them doesn't flinch. That's what changes everything. Ice noise reacts to vibration. This one ignores it. The supervisor glances at the officer. Contact maintaining course with us. The answer is a nod. No one says what everyone understands. The Russian boat isn't passing through. It's staying close. 526. The carrier maintains 20 knots. The submarine, 300 meters deep, mirrors its line. The contact's relative bearing drifts less than half a degree per minute. On the surface, a P-8 Poseidon from Keflavik requests handoff into the operational zone. Approval granted. The aircraft will arrive in 30 minutes. For now, the carrier and its air escort operate alone. In the CIC, the plot grows dense. Circles, bearings, timestamps. CPA decreasing, an operator notes, under threshold in 6 minutes. The officer checks his display. Maintain passive. No one changes speed. No one breaks routine. Every decision now measured against exposure risk. 0531 local. The submarine dips another 10 meters. Propulsion noise minimal. Its behavior is methodical, precise. In the CIC, operators record each movement, stacking them into pattern recognition. The printout resembles heartbeat rhythm, too regular to be natural. It's trimming, one technician mutters. The officer glances once. Geometry alignment. No confirmation. Above, the Seahawk's crew watches the sea flash silver in early sun. Their instruments show buoy 3 registering new resonance peaks. They adjust receiver gain. The shape matches a low-frequency prop signature from a Russian Sierra class, though degraded by ice reflection. They don't transmit that assessment yet. Procedure demands verification. 5:38. The Seahawk radios data back. Pattern stable. One contact consistent across 4 buoys. The CIC displays update, turning red arcs into solid lines. The geometry shows both vessels sharing parallel courses, separated by less than 2 nautical miles. That range means 1 torpedo run, no warning. Inside the room, voices remain calm. CPA 1.8 nautical, the operator says. The officer nods. No classification. Maintain passive. It's not fear holding them, it's discipline. If they ping first and misread, they expose position across the entire sea. For now, the invisible dialogue continues. Steel and distance talking through cold water. 0544 local. The carrier alters speed slightly, from 20 to 19 knots. It's enough to bend the angle of approach by a few degrees. On the sonar screens, the contact adjusts again. Depth change, plus 4 meters. Reaction confirmed, the operator notes. They're tracking us. The officer's tone stays flat. Noted. The air changes. No one breathes loudly. Above, the Seahawk begins its final pattern, dropping 2 additional buoys east of the carrier's track. Their splashes vanish into chop. Data merges instantly. The contact's trace strengthens for a moment, then stabilizes. Every metric, speed, depth, range, remains locked. The distance between them keeps shrinking. 0549. The plotting console recalculates. CPA 1 mile, 30 seconds to threshold. That's where assumptions stop. In that span, neither side can guarantee reaction time if something launches. The watch officer calls the bridge, confirms course steady, speed maintained. The captain's reply is simple acknowledgement. No order to maneuver. Above deck, wind increases. The flight crew leans against gusts to secure tie-downs. The sea darkens under shifting clouds. In the CIC, sonar data spikes slightly as surface ice scrapes hull plates. The contact's trace blinks, then reappears. Depth 320 meters, exact bearing constant. It's trimmed perfectly for firing geometry. 5:52 local. The officer moves closer to the operator. Continue passive, he says again. It's the 3rd time in 10 minutes. The submarine holds steady. It's not evading, not accelerating. The operator tracks silence so perfect it feels deliberate. On deck, another jet launches. The shockwave rolls through the hull, vibrating instruments. Still, the contact line doesn't flutter. The absence of movement carries its own kind of threat. The helicopter reports final buoy deployed, system nominal. The data feed overlays cleanly. Every source agrees on the same point of space. A Russian hull waiting below the Arctic layer, just listening. 6:01. The Poseidon checks in. High above at 12,000 feet, it moves in from the west. Sensors passive. Data uplink synchronizes. The CIC display fills with new detail, bathymetry, current lines, recent surface temperature scans. The combined picture eliminates any remaining uncertainty. The submarine hasn't drifted an inch. It's been holding for 45 minutes exactly. The officer looks at the time. Authorize 1 active transmission, he says. The command passes through 2 confirmations. The system arms. No speeches, no countdown. The order is mathematical. 1 pulse, fixed duration, 20 kilohertz burst, 0604 local. The ping detonates through the hull like a hammer. The sound cuts through the thermal layer in a perfect cone. Every console registers the return. Metal, solid, unmistakable. For half a second, the water lights with certainty. Then the trace on screen expands. Depth change, speed rising fast. Cavitation noise climbs to 80 decibels above baseline. The submarine dives and accelerates northeast, propeller wash turning the clean line into a blur. Contact maneuvering, the operator reports. Above, the Seahawk swings to pursue. Sensors switched back to passive. The Poseidon adjusts altitude to capture the noise trail. No one needs to speak the conclusion. 6:07. The contact continues outbound, now 15 knots, descending through 400 meters. Every system follows its retreat. Bearings update every 5 seconds. The data is beautiful. Clean symmetry breaking into chaos. The CIC holds steady. No pursuit order issued. Maintain track until fade, the officer says. The submarine's noise pattern stretches, then weakens. It's not fleeing blindly. It's executing measured withdrawal. On deck, aircraft recovery continues as if nothing changed. Steam rises off the catapult rails. A maintenance crew wipes ice from a jet's wing with gloved hands. Routine never stops. It's part of the defense. 6:15 local. The sonar display begins to clear. Propulsion harmonics fall below detection threshold. Operators reduce gain, mark the trailing fade. The helicopter retrieves its buoys, one by one, rotors slicing the cold air at 90% power. The Poseidon circles once, collecting residual data before heading south. Inside the CIC, technicians archive the sequence. Initial detection, bearing stability, depth corrections, active response, departure. No commentary enters the log. The room stays bright with red light, clock ticking toward the next watch cycle. The carrier keeps its course through dark water, turbines humming steady at 19 knots. 0624. Final contact report transmitted to FleetNet. Classification: hostile submarine, probable Sierra class, disengaged north-northeast. The captain signs acknowledgement from the bridge. No message leaves the ship beyond that. On sonar, only background hiss remains. The endless crackle of sea ice shifting miles away. Operators start post-analysis, comparing buoy records, calibrating errors. The system worked exactly as designed, yet no one speaks of victory. The carrier's path continues unchanged, wake curling white beneath the surface glare. 6:32 local. Above the Greenland Sea, daylight breaks thin and pale. The Seahawk returns, hovering into position before settling onto the deck. Rotor wash scatters snow across the bow. Crewmen move in quick steps to lash it down. The air temperature rises 1 degree. Inside the CIC, the watch officer scrolls through the final display. All contacts clear, data stable. He closes the record with a single line. Contact departed. Nothing more. The water below regains silence. The thermal layers reform, hiding everything again. The submarine is gone, moving north beneath drifting ice. It leaves no wake, no visible trace, only digital echoes stored on hard drives inside the carrier's core. The moment passes as if it never happened, yet everyone in that room knows what silence now means. They resume routine checks, log updates, system resets. The sea swallows every sound but the steady pulse of machinery. The story ends not with noise, but with the certainty that the ocean remembers everything, even when the people inside it pretend otherwise.